Alrighty, well I've been spending quite a few hours today watching hangouts as I've been trying to make the solar hot water system and make another video you'll see on a very bizarre camper concept at a later point. I'm at the video which received a lot of attention, the one hosted by Rosie O'Kelly, and we got to the point here where it's, about an hour 20 in and he starts belting on about trolls and getting a job and all this, and those of you in the United States will know what Enron was. And I have a documentary that you may, well, there's bits of it, I don't know if the whole thing is. I think the whole thing is on YouTube, might be paid, but there's chunks of it all through YouTube anyway, called The Smartest Guys in the Room. And it was about the collapse of Enron. Now, in the States, you'll know what it is. If you're not in the States, it was a... gone from a regulated energy market dealing originally with natural gas, but they also then moved into a deregulated electricity market in California. And very smart cookies who couldn't ever see anything go backwards, and they've done everything they can to just about destroy the electricity market and the electricity supply system, and cause rolling blackouts in California back in the early 2000s, just before September 11. We're talking 2000 and 2001, and they collapsed, I think it was in November or December of 2001. It become known as the biggest corporate bankruptcy in American history till that point, and it was caused by multiple accounting scams and even crazy shit like ringing power stations and getting them to turn the electricity supply off to force prices up. Yeah. And, people's power bills in California went bloody 8-fold, 12-fold what they originally had been. And it was revealed that the accounting practices and the cooking of the books was phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And of course it all fell to bits eventually, and people lost a lot of money. But anyway, I'll get back to that in a second, because they talked to a lot of people in the former documentary. And here we are. And I'm just going to read out a comment I left here as he's bagging on about bloomin' trolls. I'm not going to say much, except every time he starts dragging on about trolls, I fast forward or quit watching. Just end the video. He brought all that stuff on himself, and it wasn't just caused by e-begging, but also his slander of other van dwellers and even supporters who hadn't donated in the last 6 or more weeks. I have the post-Enron documentary called The Smartest Guys in the Room. In the words of a former accounting department employee of Enron, talking about how smart and intelligent the guys were, how brilliant some of them were that worked at Enron. I think her name was Karen. Actually, it might not have been. There's a couple of former Enron employees I talked to. If you took all that potential and skills and energy and flipped it the other way, it could have created so much good. But instead, you ended up with this. Billions and billions of, dollars that didn't exist, that were just multiple accounting scams, all running all at once. People losing truckloads of money, people losing jobs, and people getting ripped off massively with power bills, and all this stuff that happened as it all collapsed. But what she's trying to say is these people were so smart that they could have made something brilliant, but instead they're with that brains. They use those brains to create a giant scam that burned so many people and fell on its head, and one of the big guns of the company suicided. And that's what you ended up with. You had two different roads that you could have gone. You could have gone on the path of honesty and good, with all that brains, all that skills, all that energy and all that potential. But no, you went down the path of bad. And this is what happened. He had potential, you know, he could have made the channel good. But no, he decided he was going to build the channel by slandering other people and not getting a job and e-begging. And as I've said here, I still think Marshall could sell snow to the Eskimos and sand to the Assyrians, but instead here we are, you know. 4 or 5 years later, instead of building that channel up and doing better for himself, he just sat there bagging out other van dwellers, bagging out donors, bagging out fucking everyone for drama, for views, and now it's got to this. It's just got to him fighting trolls and whinging about trolls and fighting trolls and whinging about trolls, and I mean, like, these videos, you can go on there, and some of these videos, it is 4/5, you know, 80% just fucking wailing about trolls, you know, and it's like, and then he's, oh, I don't care what any of these people say. Well, fuck, he only spent, you know, 2 hours bitching about them, or an hour and a half, you know, but I don't care what they say. Oh, all the fucking potential you could have done with your charisma alone, your ability to sell alone, and with your YouTube channel, and with your damn bigger life in general. And what did you do? Well, you know, you gained weight, you gained enemies, and you gained a lot of anger, and you found some way to blame everything on everybody else. But you held the potential of your channel in your hand, and you could have done so much good, but instead look where we are here. Spending a fucking hour and a half just wailing about fucking trolls, you know, and a lot of them ain't trolls. They're good people that were turned angry by an asshole, you know, and he could have, you know, could have been going good, could have been doing something, could have been getting up, had all that potential, and he just pissed it against the fucking wall.